Welcome back. Another episode of Green Lit Gang TV. Appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the support. We're going to get right back into it here. On June 13th, 2017, Donnie Rowe and Ricky Dubose, both inmates at Georgia State Prison, both already serving time for armed robbery and assault charges, were on a prison bus that was transporting inmates from Sparta to Eatonton. Now, really quick, I'm just going to give you a little background on both these guys, okay? Because I know you watched the news clips. I know you saw what happened. Donnie Rowe was the older of the two escaped prisoners. He had the more violent history. Born in 1973, Rowe was being held for life without the possibility of parole for multiple armed robbery convictions in Bibb County from October 2001. So he'd been in there a while. He was also convicted on multiple aggravated assault charges and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Ricky Dubose, 24 years old, he was born in 93 and was serving a 20-year prison sentence for an armed robbery, aggravated assault, and theft by taking conviction out of Elbert County from 2014. He was eligible for release in September of 2034, so they had some serious time left. Rowe was never getting out. He has also served time for multiple convictions for credit card fraud, financial identity fraud, theft by taking, burglary, robbery, and for entering a vehicle charge. So yeah, I broke into a vehicle. In his lifetime, he has served 3 prison terms by the age of 24. So career criminal. Sad to say, but career criminal. And I would bet to say drugs played a major part, especially with Dubose, but I bet you with Rowe as well. Dubose was part of the Ghostface Gangsters when he was on the outside and is a member of the Aryan Gang in prison, according to authorities. Both are associated with white supremacy. Excuse me. When these guys were on the run, they were releasing updated mugshots, all that good stuff. So back to June 13th, 2017, just wanted to give you a quick background. While unattended during a stop at Hancock State Prison, Rowe used a toothbrush to unlock the gate. They were on a prison bus, okay? Gate separating the offenders compartment from the corrections officers compartment. After rummaging through the officers' lunches, the inmates returned to their compartment and closed the gate, but left it unlocked. When the officers returned and the bus was back on the road, Rowe opened the gate, and he and Ricky Dubose rushed to the front of the bus and attacked the guards, while the other inmates moved to the back of the bus. After a few seconds of struggling, shots rang out. Inmates ducked for cover, and the 2 guards, Christopher Monica and Curtis Ballou, were dead. I believe Ballou was driving. This doesn't shock me that the other inmates backed up, and they didn't escape either. And you see that a lot, right? A lot of the times, man, it's the 2 guys at Planet that got nothing to lose. You know, it's not usually just a mad dash like you see in the movies, like, oh, there's a prison escape and a door busts open and everybody takes off. I mean, I'm not saying that wouldn't happen. There's been instances where 4, 5, 6 people have escaped, but a lot of times it's just 1 or 2 guys. They've been planning this for months, possibly years, and they go. And same in this case, man. These other guys stayed on the bus. Christopher Monica's body lay in the doorwell blocking the exit, so Rowe and Ricky Dubose made their escape through a window. The other inmates stayed on the bus waiting for help to arrive. See? They stayed on the bus for help to arrive. That help came in the form of a civilian from Putnam County resident, Jim Mallett. He'd been on his way to a hardware store when he saw the bus stopped in the middle of Highway 16. Mallett says he heard the inmates calling for help. I just think that's a crazy scene. So he went and checked it out. I'm like, can you imagine walking up on a prison bus, 2 dead guards, you got a group of inmates. As he approached the bus, he could hear the inmates pleading with him to call 911, and that's when he saw the body of Christopher Monica lying in the doorwell right where Dubose and Rowe had left him. He also saw the driver, Curtis Ballou, sitting motionless in the driver's seat. He called the police and waited in his truck. Once it was discovered that the 2 men had escaped, a $90,000 reward was issued for their capture, and a BOLO, or beyond lookout, order was given with the description of a stolen Ford F-250 the men were thought to be driving. I didn't really give much, I don't know how they got the F-250 so fast. It's pretty crazy. It was 2.5 days later when it was discovered that the fugitives had made it to Tennessee. Remember, they started in Georgia, where they had been holed up in a house with the homeowners being held captive for an unknown amount of time. They commanded the captives to tell police a fake story about what had happened to them and stole their Jeep. Shortly after, police spotted the stolen Jeep and began to give chase. The fugitives shot at the officers, but no one was hurt. The chase ended in a crash on I-24, where Dubose and Rowe ditched the vehicle. They ran to the woods, leaving their weapons behind for the police to find. They ran to another home in Murfreesboro, about 6 miles away. They tried to steal another vehicle when the homeowner, the guy you saw in the news clip that was talked about in the intro, Patrick Hale, came outside and caught them in the act. Hale was armed, but he claims I never even had to draw down on him. He says despite this, the men took off their shirts, waved them in the air in a gesture of surrender, and laid face down in his driveway. I don't know. I mean, maybe. The only reason I might believe that is if they're just flat out exhausted. If they're just tired, they've been on the run for a couple days, they probably haven't eaten, they probably haven't drinking water, you're sleeping God knows where, you're just done. You're running, you're booking it, you know the end's coming. maybe you don't want to get killed. Maybe, they're going to shoot you. Who knows? So I'm not saying, I guess you didn't have to pull a gun. It's believable. Moments later, police arrived. It said 45 of them, actually, and the men were taken in without further incident and soon after extradited to Putnam County. A week later, 21, DuBose and Rowe had appeared in court. They were each indicted 3 months later. DuBose enters a not guilty plea. Basically, it was open and shut case. Open and shut case. All the defense tried to do was take away wording, right? Like malice murder. Things like that, which all you're trying to do at that point is save your client's life. Okay, that's all you're trying to do. Well, it didn't really work. So on September 30th, of 21, Rowe was convicted on all counts and sentenced to life with no possibility of parole. And DuBose's was going on, and his trial was set to start June 2nd, 2022. And ended up going through. He obviously is convicted, sentenced to death, and he died, though, before he was actually executed. So, crazy story. Really had to do it.